Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum. Digital learning doesn't just happen. It requires careful planning and implementation. Hi everyone, I am Shakil Ahmed and I am here to discuss about blended learning strategies. I belongs to Deanship of E-Learning and IT, and thanks for joining the session. I'm here to discuss about blended learning strategies in higher education. My dear staff members, education is no longer just about putting pen to paper and memorizing facts. Today, innovative educators in both higher education and cooperative learning and development are improving learning through technology, and as evidenced by the rapid adoption of technology-assisted teaching methods and blended learning models. We all agreed that technology provides students with easy to access information, accelerated learning, and fun opportunities to practice what they learn. So let's have a look where we had started and where we are now. In 1960s, the first computer training program started, and 1980s, the personal computer era begins. But the actual change start at 1997. Since 1997, the birth of the user graphic interface, UGI, and the mouse bring a big change in the learning environment. So in 2000, companies start providing the e-learning courses for the student. So we can safely say the one who born in 1990s and 2000, they start studying and playing with the computer and the electronic devices. So they are called digital natives. So they have more understanding of the technology. A new wave of the excuse me, I'm sorry, I think so. 1 second, let me. Apology for the interruption. Actually, there was, I think, some WhatsApp or some other software was running, so they were making disturbance. So I just quit it over there. So let's have a look that from the 90s, I think so, the generation who born in 90s or after 90s, they can call it digital natives. The reason behind, once they start learning something, they do have the engagement and understanding with the learning devices, with the digital devices and the smartphones. But what happened in 2010, actually, that after the 2010 era, a new wave of mobile based e-learning introduced over there, because the smartphone introduced, and anyone who was working with the desktop, then they shifted to the laptop, and then they migrated to the smartphones. Smartphone is actually the replacement of the laptop, and your 50 or 70% usage of laptop reduced after the born or after the introduction of the smartphones. But in 2020, especially after the pandemic, collaborative mobile on-demand and blended learning introduced. So this is the whole history which is in front of us that can give us an idea that how we are improving from 1960s till 2022. Now all the world in your hand and in your palm, even with the small smart device, everything is, all the world is inside that one, and a small child even know how to deal with that one, and how to prepare some kind of knowledge, and how to grab information, and how to share these information with that one. Why this session is important, what is blended learning, and why this session is important. This session is important, the reason behind, now we are dealing, as I told you in last session, that we are digital migrants. Being a teacher, we are digital migrants because we didn't born with the technology, we just adopted. So but the student who is sitting in front of us, they are born with the technology, they grown up with the technology, they do have more like more regular and frequent user of the technology, so they are more fluent with the technology than us. You need to understand that by the time changing in your behavior as a teacher is more important. If you are not going to change your behavior, you're not going to adopt the new technology, it means you are not going to adjust with the new generation, a native digital generation. So blended learning is really important, and this session is going to be very important. And I'm going to tell you one thing that might possible. Before taking a proper start, I would request all of you, might be you are thinking that I always try to force you to participate in this session, and sometimes might be this is a little bit annoying for you, but believe me, this is really good, not only for you, for us, and for the students as well. You know that how many staff members of Jazan University? More than 1,000 staff members, but here in this session only few members. So I want to make it difference, the one who is not in the session and the one who is in the session. We are in the era of flowing information. We all are engaged with different type of WhatsApp groups. A flow of information is coming, but we are not utilizing, we're not converting it into the knowledge. By this session, I will try to make it interactive. I will ask you some of the questions, I will ask you some of the ideas, and might possible some of the ideas which I can grab for you, and that can help me to increase my knowledge. And I will try to I will try to share my knowledge with you guys. So once you are going inside the classroom, you do have some more new ideas to engage the student. So let's have a look. What is blended learning? Blended learning is hybrid of traditional face-to-face classrooms and e-learning experiences. This type of learning is getting popular in many worldwide renowned universities for improving learning standards, increasing passing rates, and passing rates for what? Passing rates for the examination, adding time flexibility, and removing distance barriers. The multi-delivery approach to optimize learning outcomes and the cost of content delivery makes blended learning more useful. The term blend in blended learning means integration of digital contents in class instructions or in the activities. So in simple words, we can say blended learning is an immediate stage between in-classroom instructions and delivery of the contents in a fully online mode. Thus, blended learning is a type of digital integration in teaching. So if we have to take a look, the blended learning is different from online learning, which is another type of digital teaching. And in this type of learning is executed in pre-planned, chained, or combination models. Whereas online learning is executed in either on-campus or off-campus models. So blending of courses gives more course content and course content accessibility, educational effectiveness, effective course interactions, and flexibility to teachers for better student engagement. In simple words, you can understand blended learning in these 4 steps. Number 1, hybrid learning. So this is a combination of a traditional and online learning. You can combine e-learning and face-to-face learning. You can bring some good like advantages and important points from the face-to-face learning and e-learning. So once you combine them, that could be hybrid learning model. Or you can go with a method of teaching that integrates technology in your teaching techniques. You can engage different type of technology. So it can be like a blended learning. Or digital media with traditional instructor-led classroom activities. You can go with that one as well. Or in the last one, the last point is giving students more flexibility to customize learning. So this is not the era that all the instructor-led learning is possible inside the classroom where the teacher always speaking, delivering the knowledge one way. Communication is happening over there. Now you can do something good inside the classroom, and you can give them some flexibility with their assignments, with their quizzes, to bring all these quizzes or assignments online, so they can have more flexibility and customized learning ideas over there. Here I'm going to share with you one of the very short clip and very interesting clip that would give you an idea that what is actually blended learning and how it comes and how it introduced. So let's have a look.
When you think of learning, what comes to mind? Undoubtedly, your thoughts will turn to the traditional classroom, featuring an instructor standing in front of a group of students, imparting years of wisdom. In recent years, you may have been exposed to WBT, or web-based training, also known as e-learning. The benefits of learning online can't be ignored. Less travel, learning at your own pace at the time of your choosing, and wearing your pajamas to class. Classroom learning typically succeeds or fails based on the abilities of the instructor. WBT learning succeeds or fails based on the quality and instructional design of the learning module.
So here is the important point you need to understand. Classroom learning, what is the importance of the classroom learning? That is face-to-face learning. That is the important part is teacher, because he is the center of the students. He is spreading the knowledge and students are listening to him. But what is important in the web-based trainings, online trainings, that is the content. If you have a very solid content, then you can grab the attention of the students. So what is going to be happen in blended learning? Just look the next point.
So which is the best way to empower your team with the skills they need to be most effective? In short, neither. Rather than making the decision to go with just one form of learning, why not combine the best elements of both? Blended learning does just that. It takes WBT and combines it with classroom instruction to create a learning experience
That's it. E-learning and classroom learning, once you are try to bring them together, and all the important points and the benefits of e-learning and classroom learning, once you try to combine them, that brings the good results. What kind of results it can be?
produces better learning outcomes in a shorter time frame with a higher job skill effectiveness. So how are these amazing claims achieved? We start with the top of the line, interactive, online learning modules that allow the student to grasp the foundational information at their own pace. Frequent knowledge checks, practice, games, and user interactions keep the student engaged. Post-tests measure the student's command of the content and point to any weak areas that need to be improved. Next, students gather in a classroom environment where the instructor is freed from spending valuable time covering the basics. Instead, the instructor builds upon the foundational knowledge and introduces higher-level concepts, which are then related to the student's specific work.
This is the really important point. Again, we have to discuss, keep on point that instead, I mean, how the blended learning or e-learning is making it possible for the students or for the teacher is making it more easy. That last session, if someone attended, they know that I discussed over there that how you can make it engage inside the classroom. You can simply share your slides, your lesson, which you're gonna be teach in the next day. So the students can go through with that lesson and the basic concept can be clear. And inside the classroom, you do not need to spend again 30 minutes to make them understand that what is the basic concept. Here you can directly go with the high level concept with the basic concept. So this can bring some more good results.
Responsibilities. When appropriate, the class will work through a related project together to put all they are learning into action. Be warned, however, that simply because you have WBT paired with a classroom event does not guarantee a successful blended learning outcome. The OpusWorks cloud-based learning platform has been finely tuned over many years to orchestrate successful blended learning classes for both students and instructors. Modules, testing, assignments, materials, games, videos, class dates, message boards, instructor chat, class polling, project tracking, reporting, statistics, and more all combine to form the backbone of the learning experience. When teamed with properly trained instructors, the results are simply unbeatable.
So that's from blended learning. Can I ask the question over here? Do you understand what is blended learning? Can you answer me in one sentence only, please? In 30 seconds, then I'm going to start it next slide. In 30 seconds, can you please answer me what is blended learning? What did you understand about the blended learning? 30 seconds. I'm waiting for your answer, please. What did you understand till now for the blended learning? Hello. Anybody there? I think everyone joined and left. But I can see there are too many people in the session. Okay, that's great. Integrating digital teaching and traditional teaching together, very good. Dr. Sheikh Shakra, that's great. It is mixture of all learning tools. What kind of mixtures? Can you please explain it? Mixture of what? The question was, what did you get with the blended learning experience? That what is blended learning? What is your idea about the blended learning? Integrated learning styles. You want to say, Dr. Nasreen, that the e-learning and the best of the e-learning and best of the face-to-face learning, you need to combine, and that is blended learning. Is it? Yeah, that's great. That's great. Anyone else? Yeah, that is, you can grab something more important and advantageous thing from the online learning and face-to-face learning. You cannot say that online learning is 100% can bring the results, or face-to-face teaching can bring the result. So both are important, but both have their advantages and disadvantages. So what we do, we gonna combine the advantages of face-to-face learning and online learning in one model to present and bring some more good results. That is called blended learning. Only 2 teachers understand what is blended learning. All others are left, I think so. Okay, no problem. Mix of online and classroom learning. Great. Thanks for the participation for the teachers, and rest I am looking for, inshallah, in coming slides. So let's have a look. I'm gonna have a very quick look about the models of the blended learning, because understanding of the models of the blended learning is also important. The reason the majority of blended learning programs resembles one of 4 models. And what are these models? What it gonna take start with the rotational model, flex model, self-blend model, and enriched virtual model. A self-blend model also called a la carte model. So let's take a look in detail that how they work it. Rotation model. This is really just a variation of a learning stations model that teachers have been using for years. There is a set schedule by which students have face-to-face time with their teachers and then move to online work. This model seems to be most popular in the following environment. Number 1, elementary classrooms in which teachers have already used and are comfortable with traditional learning stations. The second one, elementary classrooms in which students can be divided based upon skill level in reading and math. The students who are performing well in math but not in the reading may have face-to-face time with their teacher for reading before rotating the online learning stations for math. So teachers are able to give struggling students more individual assistance based upon their needs. So this is rotation model. First, you're gonna give them teacher-led instructions, and then you're gonna bring them back on the online instructions. But here, for example, some of the students are not good. They can come and face-to-face meet with the teacher. They can give them solutions and send them back online. So this is a complete a circle of rotation model, teacher-led instructions, collaborative activities and stations, and online learning. And the next one is flex model. The majority of the curriculum is delivered via online instructions with teachers on hand for face-to-face facilitation, consultation, and support. This model relies heavily on online instructions delivery, with teachers acting as facilitators rather than as primary deliverers of the instructions. This model appears to be most used and most successful in the following environment. What kind of environment? Alternative school settings in which the majority of the students' population is considered to be at risk. Traditional classroom settings have traditionally not been successful for these students. Second, alternative school settings in which students are involved in the work study programs, have attendance problems, or have been placed in a part-time schooling program. Or as a rule, the grade level for the flex model is secondary. Important thing is that you can set the flex model where the traditional classroom, building of the traditional classroom is not possible, or you are targeting the students who are jobians, they are doing work, but they cannot attend the classes regularly. So you can bring them online classes for them. So that is flex model. The next one is that is self-blend model, or it is also called a la carte model. A la carte is basically French word, and in English we call it a la carte model. This model allows coursework beyond the offered in a traditional setting in a specific school or district. Students participate in traditional classes, but then enroll in courses to supplement their regular programs of study. This model is basically particularly beneficial in the following circumstances. What kind of circumstances? A course that is not offered by the school may be taken by a student who wants additional learning in a specific content field. Students who wish advanced placement courses for early college credit can enroll in courses designed and improved for such. Students who are highly motivated and fully independent learners. So this type of models can be adopted as an additional study program. For example, some programs being like introduced in the summer vacation or during the classes, college or university introduced a new subject or a new type of projects or something like online learning platform. So students can be engaged over there. So this is basically self-paced or self-blend learning. So students undertake traditional classes before enrolling in online course work to support their studies. So they can enroll in the traditional classes and then they can enroll on the online classes for their to enhance their study. And the last one is enriched virtual model. There is a combination of two, face-to-face supplementations and the home online instructions and content. How does it work? This model is complete opposite of a traditional face-to-face instructional environment. Students work from remote locations, for example, their homes, and receive all of their instructions via online platforms. Usually, there are opportunities to check in with the course teachers and to engage in online messaging if an explanation is needed. School and districts that type of offers this model find that the number of students opting for it increasing, like annually it is increasing to adopt this type of model. The model works for the following students. What type of students can be engaged with this model? Students with chronic illness or handicap who find it difficult to attend schools, students whose job or other obligations demand flexibility to be in school at hours during which traditional schools are not in operation. Students who are highly motivated and who want to progress much faster than would be allowed to traditional school settings. Can I have one example from you guys? One example I needed enriched virtual model, which you experienced in, I mean, like you already experienced, I know. Can you give me one example of enriched virtual model? One example, please. Can anyone please give me one example of enriched virtual model which you already experienced in recent past? No. Blackboard is a platform which can be used for the learning perspective. Blackboard is available, or I mean, like, all the LMS available in Jazan University since like 2010. But my question is, in recent past, what did you learn? I mean, like, what kind of model you used? Enriched virtual model. You used this model in recent past, but can you give me one example? Why did you use this virtual model in recent past? Anyone do have an idea? Please, 30 seconds. That's the best answer from Dr. Nasreen. And okay, Dr. Sheikh Shakir. Okay. Due to pandemic, in March 2019, all the classes being like migrated to online. And we use Blackboard for this enriched virtual model because all the classes were not able to bring students face to face. So we use this model, virtual model, and we use the virtual classrooms. All the students have to present on the same time, and they do have the discussion time and all these things. Yes, March 18. I believe only two participants in the session, Dr. Nasreen and Dr. Shakra. Okay. One more. Okay, fine. But in the list, I can see a long list over here. Please don't stay in the silent mode. Just like participate, and we can have more interesting discussions inside the discussion board. Okay, we discussed about the example about the COVID. Due to pandemic, we were unable. So this is a special situation as well, that where you can use it, the enriched virtual model, which is really helpful. I believe if this type of models were not available during the COVID, we can go back in the Stone Age. The education is the only thing that affected a lot. Not all the countries do have all these facilities, but Saudi Arabia, alhamdulillah, all the resources they provided. And I believe there is no one day stop of the education only. Because all the environment was already available, and we put them in the practical environment by shifting all the physical classes to the to online classes. So here is a small video clip I'm going to share with you that can give you a much more easy idea about these four blended learning models. So have a look with me.
The definition of blended learning is a formal educational program in which a student learns at least in part through online learning with some element of student control over time, place, path, and or pace, at least in part in a supervised brick and mortar location away from home. And the modalities along each student's learning path within a course or subject are connected to provide an integrated learning experience. The majority of blended learning programs resemble one of the four models I'll describe in this video, and they include the rotation, the flex, a la carte, and enriched virtual. Now, the rotation model includes four submodels, one of which is the flipped or upside down classroom, and I'll describe that in another video. Here are the definitions of these four blended learning models. Number one is the rotation model. And this is a program in which, within a given course or subject, students rotate between learning modalities, at least one of which is online learning. Other modalities might include activities such as small group or full class instruction, group projects, individual tutoring, and pencil and paper assignments. Number two is the flex model. And this is a program in which the online learning is the backbone of student learning, even if it directs students to offline activities at times. Students move on an individually customized, fluid schedule among learning modalities, and the teacher of record is on site. Now, the teacher of record or other adults provide face-to-face support on a flexible and adaptive as-needed basis through activities such as small group instruction, group projects, and individual tutoring. Some implementations may have substantial face-to-face support, and others may have minimal. Some flex models may have face-to-face certified teachers who supplement the learning on a daily basis, whereas others may provide little face-to-face enrichment. Others may have combinations of different kinds of staffing. Number 3 is the a la carte model. And this is a program in which students take one or more courses entirely online with an online teacher of record, and at the same time continue to have brick and mortar educational experiences. Students may take the online courses either on the brick and mortar campus or off-site. And this differs from full-time online learning and the enriched virtual model because it's not a whole school experience. And number 4 is the enriched virtual model. And this is a whole school experience in which within each course, students divide their time between attending a brick and mortar campus and learning remotely using online delivery of content and instruction. And many enriched virtual programs began as full-time online schools and then developed blended programs to provide students with brick and mortar school experiences. The enriched virtual model